ladies and gentlemen, and TV show lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I am going to be giving you my spoiler-filled thoughts on episodes 1 to 3 of The Boys Season 3. So as you might be able to tell, I am still feeling a little under the weather, and I am not back to my usual setup just yet. These videos are pretty short, sweet, and simple to make, so I have been pumping out a couple of these this week, but I am not quite ready to get back to the usual just yet. However, I am of course hoping for sooner rather than later. Nevertheless, back to the topic at hand, The Boys. I am personally a massive fan of the show, and I've even actually dabbled into its comic book counterpart quite a bit. And it has been almost 2 years since the previous season. So of course I have been absolutely chomping at the bit to get my eyes and ears on this latest season. They are taking the same release approach that they did for season 2. They released episodes 1 to 3 today, Friday, June 3rd, and the next 5 episodes will release weekly also on Fridays. As I said when reviewing Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3, from now on when I do episode reviews for TV series, I will be going into spoilers. However, for new movie reviews and new series reviews, like entire series reviews, I will likely keep those spoiler free. But as of right now, I'm going to issue a major spoiler warning. Yes, there will be spoilers ahead for The Boys Season 3 episodes 1 to 3, so you have been warned. Before I hop into the actual review itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my TV series-based reviews. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, without further ado, let's hop right into things. And so for the first 3 episodes so far, my biggest positive has been the major shift to focusing on our many characters' psyches instead of over-the-top violence, nudity, and swearing. Even though all of that stuff is still very much so present. We see MM trying to navigate normal life once again and get back into the good graces of his family. We see Butcher trying to maintain some sort of a relationship with Becca's son Ryan, as well as trying to turn a new leaf and working for the government. But we also see the flip side to that and see him struggling with all of this change and really trying to handle and cope with Becca's death. A-Train gets a bit of extra spotlight in this one that I've really been enjoying so far. We get a deeper look into the developing relationship between Kimiko and Frenchie, as well as how Kimiko feels about her childhood and what they and their team do and how it can affect others. We get Annie and Huey navigating their relationship, but the real standout here is Homelander. Anthony Starr so far has been delivering an absolutely deranged, unhinged, but incredibly powerful performance. He has been much more of a main focus this season, I feel, than in previous seasons, and it is really working so far. The next big positive for me was a big reveal that for some reason I kind of just felt coming, but when it was actually revealed, it was still magnificent. On top of Huey finding out that Newman is indeed a soup, we also get to find out that she is Stan Edgar's adoptive daughter. And that bombshell just further amplifies the entire situation. I loved the entire backstory we got from Mallory as to why she hates the soups, what happened to Soldier Boy, which also gives us more of a backstory into Black Noir. Of course, the next positive is something that's become pretty typical in this show. In fact, many might actually say it is the biggest pull that this show has for much of its audience. And that is that there is some genuinely raunchy and messed up stuff in these first 3 episodes alone already. And as per usual, it is both hilarious and disgusting. Like Termite jumping into that guy's pee hole and then sneezing and it'll just, yeah. Or Crimson Countess just turning people into absolute red, goopy, gory messes. And so many other little things, like who thinks of this shit? Honestly, I want to know. Another big positive that I've really enjoyed thus far is Butcher and Ryan's relationship. Where things left off at the end of season 2, I really didn't know if we were actually going to see the character of Ryan ever again. But not only has he been a very big and important player in these first 3 episodes, but the relationship that has formed between himself and Butcher is one that I really have loved. And where things left off, Butcher saying what he said about Becca's death being Ryan's fault and Ryan using some of his abilities but holding back, I am incredibly interested to see where this journey goes with these two. A huge plot point in this season so far seems to be focusing on Huey and Annie's relationship. It is really being put to the test here, as Annie's first boyfriend is back into the scene and now joining the Seven. Homelander pulling that stunt with saying that him and Starlight are in love. Huey asking, actually basically telling Annie to stay with the Seven even though she is in serious danger. And Huey's just, you know, he's always had these self-confidence issues, but it seemed like he was on the right track, and now all of this coming out about Newman, he's back working with Butcher, and he's very uncertain of himself once again. So their relationship in the opening scene in the first little bit of episode 1 showed that they were very much so still in the honeymoon phase, but as the episodes have gone on, it is shown that they are already really struggling, so I am interested to see how they navigate this in the final 5 episodes of this season. The introduction to Little Nina does have me very excited. Like I said, I have dabbled in the comics a little bit. I'm not super deep into them or anything like that, but Little Nina is a pretty big player in the comics very early on, so her inclusion has me very thrilled. Stan Edgar seems to be getting an even more prominent role in this season as well, which is fantastic and a positive all on its own, because I mean, who doesn't love Giancarlo Esposito? So far, Jensen Ackles has only had a little bit of screen time as Soldier Boy. Really not much time in the spotlight so far, but I definitely feel like he's going to become a very important character over the rest of the season. I mean, I always kind of saw that coming anyway because they have been promoting the ever-living shit out of this guy in the build-up to this season. And I can already tell that I am going to absolutely love and hate this guy at the same time. The final positive I had with these first 3 episodes is the inclusion of V24. Minor spoilers for the comics, but from the get-go, the boys use a sort of variant of this V24 that gives them minor superpowers for limited amounts of time. Not really full-blown superpowers, but just enough that they can, you know, beat up Supes, right? They can take the damage and they can deal it out. So far, this compound V24 definitely seems to take it a step further, because as we saw in the build-up to this season, it has been giving Butcher this heat vision. So not only am I over the moon excited to finally see this included in the show, but it seems to be a lot more unstable. I think there is a huge possibility that Butcher experiences some major side effects. We may see him or others become addicted because they like the feeling of being a Supe. I'm interested to see who else is going to take V24. There's just so many possibilities with the inclusion of this and how they have decided to sort of alter it from the comics. And of course, we've only seen it once in action, and that was in the Butcher beatdown of Gunpowder, but that was insanely brutal and awesome, and I loved it. The only negative I've had so far, and I hate to say it's a negative because it's not really a negative, it's just sort of general thoughts on these first 3 episodes that isn't necessarily a positive. And that is to say that though we are only 3 episodes into an 8-episode season, and although I do feel that quite a lot has happened so far, at the same time it also feels like not that much has really happened, if that makes any sense. I get where the season is going, like I get the direction and I get where the story is headed, and I am really enjoying the extra focus on the character arcs. I'm really digging this more personal approach than we have ever gotten with these characters, in fact. But I do feel that this season is off to a slower start than the previous 2. Like I said, not really a negative, but it's just something I wanted to make note of. That being said though, folks, if you couldn't tell, I am absolutely gushing over the first 3 episodes of season 3 of The Boys so far. It's more of what you love, but with an added personal touch, as I feel we are getting more one-on-one time with these characters and diving deeper into their mindsets than we ever have before. And so far, the writing has been excellent, and I am really jiving with the direction that this season is going in. Though it does feel like a slower start than the previous 2 seasons, I am all in and totally on board, and I cannot wait for the next 5 weeks. And so I'm going to be giving The Boys Season 3 Episodes 1 to 3 an 8 out of 10. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my review. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what you would have scored the first 3 episodes of The Boys Season 3 out of 10. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.